AI companies have been burning through billions of dollars of VC funding as if it grows on trees, yet we're already starting to see the beginnings of the inshitification of all of the different AI tools we use. It wasn't that long ago that you could sign up for the max Claude tier and essentially have unlimited AI usage, and you could burn through billions or even trillions of tokens on that $200 a month plan. And yes, $200 a month is a lot to spend, but if you're burning through the amount of tokens some people were using, you're getting thousands or even tens of thousands of dollars worth of token usage for $200 a month. And that is no way sustainable for these companies. That's why very quickly it was restrained on what you could do. These plans were reduced. You could no longer essentially use unlimited tokens. And there's certain limits that you hit, and you're essentially restricted from working anymore when you hit those limits. Now, these limits are still quite generous, and that when you hit these limits, you're still spending much more than that $20 or $200 a month that you're giving the company. So they are losing money on these power users that are hitting these limits, and a lot of these people are hitting these limits. So these companies are losing money on a lot of the different plans that they offer. And this is just starting to see the cracks of this form because recently both GitHub for Copilot and Anthropic with Claude have announced changes to their plans that have drastically reduced the capabilities you get. If we just take a quick look at GitHub Copilot, you can see that on April 20th, that's just a few days ago with the recording of this, they have changed their entire plan so that you can no longer even sign up anymore. They've completely suspended new signups. They've essentially restricted your usage limit, and they added a new tier to add additional usage. And they've also taken away some of the models that you previously had available, such as these more expensive Opus models, and restricted them to their new, more expensive plan. So you can't even sign up anymore because it loses them so much money. They're restricting the people that are signed up to have stricter limits like weekly limits and so on, and they're restricting the usage of more powerful models to a significantly more expensive plan. I believe it's 4 times more expensive than the current existing plan. So it's a significant uptick in cost in order to get these additional models and additional usage limits. Claude also tried essentially completely removing the ability to use Claude Code from their $20 a month plan. Here you can see their current site, and you can see Claude Code is available on their Pro $20 a month plan. But if you go back just a few days to April 22nd, you can see that is no longer available inside here. So essentially they tried to remove it from their $20 a month plan. There was such a large pushback that they essentially almost immediately reverted those changes and added Claude Code back into that $20 a month plan. They are losing so much money that they're having to restrict the features you get or completely remove certain features you've already paid for because they cannot sustain this level of paying a monthly cost to get essentially a large number of tokens for free for that smaller $20 fee. This is also very apparent with enterprise customers as well. Many of the people that I know that work at these really large enterprise scale companies are also seeing this issue as well. They're being converted from essentially a per user method where you pay $20, $30, $100 a month per user to use a certain amount of requests and tokens to instead being used on a per token basis. And so they're being charged for every token they use as opposed to for the number of users they have. And that's again for the exact same reasons that these other plans are being reduced or increased in price. And that's because you're getting way more than what you're actually paying for. And all this VC Monday is essentially giving the ability for these companies to offer this at a loss because they're just hoping to gain enough customers that once they get enough customers, they then essentially rack up the price or drastically reduce the features you get. And we're already starting to see this where the prices are increasing and the features you get are being decreased. So it's a double whammy on higher cost for less things that you're actually getting to use. And this is not at all a new thing. This happens in every single large company's tech startup that you can think of. There's tons and tons of VC money that gets put into it. Think, for example, Netflix. It used to be an amazing deal. It didn't cost very much. You had access to pretty much every movie and TV show you could possibly want. And now, fast forward 10 years from when Netflix was great, now it costs significantly more. There's much lower quality shows, much less variety. It's overall just a much worse experience. Go back to Uber, for example. It used to be incredibly cheap for you to be able to take a ride. It was significantly cheaper than like a taxi or something else. Now you fast forward and it's just as much, if not more expensive than taking a taxi. DoorDash and all those other food delivery services used to be very comparable in price. Now you're paying literally double the cost of the food just to get it delivered to your door. Again, it used to be really affordable, and now they essentially removed all that affordability because they have enough customers. You pump in a bunch of VC funding, get a bunch of customers on a low price, rack up the price, reduce the features, and hopefully everyone is essentially stuck with it because they've gotten so used to using this. And AI, I think, is one of the most prime examples for this. If you get enough people hooked on using AI to write code and they don't actually learn or know how the code works, it doesn't matter what you increase the price to. They can't operate their business without using the AI to write the code for them. So you could 10x the price and they just have to pay that because that's the only way they know how to code and know how to use this software. And that is, I think, think the future that we're starting to see with these price hikes and these feature reductions in the more recent things that have happened in just the last couple of days. Unfortunately, this is something that's going to continue to happen as we go, and I think this is really going to hit companies especially the hardest because they're going to have their prices drastically increased, and for them, if they have 100, 1,000, even 10,000 different employees using this and the price suddenly goes up 5x, that is a massive line item for them and is going to cause massive repercussions across the entire ecosystem, not just in developers, but anything that's using AI heavily is definitely going to see issues with the massive price increases that we're going to be seeing. Now, I hope that these price increases are quite a ways in the future because I like being able to use essentially way more AI than I'm actually paying for, but I don't foresee this being something that is around for forever, and is definitely something that is going to be coming sooner than we actually think, and is going to really shake up the entire economy, especially around anything that heavily uses AI, such as coding.